Great. So, everyone, thank you so much for being here. As many of you know, we are being joined by a very special guest. One more reminder to please put your microphones on mute, and I will do my best to mute you if you do not mute yourself. We're also joined by a very special guest from our own team, Corrinalyn Guyette. She is our VP of Strategic Growth and Partnerships. And we have Chris Adams, who's the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for the Foundation Fighting Blindness. So, right off the bat, Chris, I'd love for you to tell us why you would ever start a fight against an opponent that you can never beat. And help us understand really the mission of Foundation Fighting Blindness and what winning this war actually means.
Sure, absolutely. And thanks again, Joseph and Corrinalyn, for inviting me. And Janine Nixon, I see you're on. So hello. And I may call on you to help out at times. Janine Nixon is actually a member of our board for the Foundation Fighting Blindness. But, we've been around for over 55 years. We are the driving force in the global development of treatments and cures for blinding disease such as retinitis pigmentosa, Stargardt disease, Leber congenital amaurosis, Usher syndrome, age-related macular degeneration, and many others. Our number one goal, as it is in our name, is to fight the diseases that cause those blindness. And so we've raised nearly $1 billion for research around the world, and we've also helped with patient education and advocacy. We have more than 45 chapters across the United States, and really those chapters are meant to serve the community, provide the resources, the education, and opportunities to really fundraise and get together and meet others within the low vision and blind community. So we're here, like I said, to kind of help bring everyone together. So again, with this conversation, Joseph and Cornelin, as we were talking, I want to have it as an open forum and answer questions to be able to kind of go from there. So I'll throw it over to Cornelin.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing all the work that Foundation Fighting Blindness is doing. And I'll share a personal story in that my mom has AMD. And so when I started this journey working for Innovega, I had started with a purpose of passion in not only helping people like my mom, find hope again, but also finding out all the other organizations like Foundation Fighting Blindness to know, and it gave me hope that there are people fighting out there for the low vision community. So looking through your page, seeing that you guys have given over 120 grants across multiple institutions was something that really resonated with me, in that you guys are doing a lot. And the chapters, being able to join a chapter here. I live in the kind of Seattle, Bellevue, Washington area. And so I got connected to the chapter here, and just seeing some of the work that the chapter here is doing has been inspiring. And then, Joseph, we're gonna have a representation out there in Orange County, in the Orange County Walk here this weekend. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about that too. But just Chris, I don't know if there's something you want to share a little bit more, maybe even about the chapters and what all is involved with that. You talk about education and awareness, but tell me a little bit more about that. Like, what can someone do to get involved in a chapter, and how many in total are there across the country?
Yeah, so when you think about our chapters, and it's Chris Adams again, our community is really there to help everyone really understand what's going on with their diagnosis. And many times we have people that are newly diagnosed that they'll go and, to their doctor, their optometrist, ophthalmologist, and many times we're still hearing the stories where their doctor will say, there's not much I can do for you. I'm sorry. So, they don't even refer them to a retinal specialist. They may not even be familiar with who we are as an organization. So really where the community comes in is word of mouth, really to engage others to be able to help bridge that gap. So, that's the number one priority, is just trying to get our name out there. We work with a lot of the local communities from the low vision rehabilitation centers, some of the local governments to be able to provide the tools because, there are so many, there's over 330 genes that are out there that are really affect blindness. And there's one gene therapy right now called Luxturna that is allowing folks to see. And there's many trials. We have over 60 trials right now where, the foundation has been involved with probably about 88% of the research work to bring those trials. So there's a lot that's in play, but unfortunately, not everyone can, I guess, get the benefits of some of those treatments right now. So the goal is to be able to provide additional education of what's happening in the industry, what research is in development, and also to be able to provide experts that are in the field. So that way the patients themselves can ask the questions that they may be asking. Even just earlier on, with the glasses that you guys have, being able to ask the questions, is it going to work for me? So that's what we're there for from a community perspective. And as you were saying, Corrinalyn, we have over 33 vision walks. These are our big fundraiser events where people come together, in different cities across the United States. And I would say they're not all 5K walks, but they're a good length. But it's fun to come and meet others who are within the community, and it's a family friendly event. There's booths around, there's face painting, there's contests, there's giveaways, and just being able to meet others and walk, around the city or the course that is developed. So, that's one of the benefits that we have really within our chapters. And they have many in-person events and seminars. But if you're interested, our website, fightingblindness.org, right at the top of the page, you're able to kind of take a look at, what we have available from a chapter perspective. And if there's not a chapter in your area, it's one of those that you just send us a note at info@fightingblindness.org, and someone from our community team will reach back out and see what the needs you may have.
Chris, I have a quick question, real quick question. Do you have a chapter in San Diego? There's a question.
Yes.
You do. Okay.
They definitely have a chapter in San Diego, and Janine, this is maybe where I'll call on you as being our San Diego representative.
Yes, I live in San Diego. I'm on the national board of the Foundation Fighting Blindness. So I'm not on a committee for the local chapter, but I certainly know members of the local chapter and some of the activities. And I just recently got introduced to your company through social media. I think you're located very close to where I used to work at Hewlett Packard. And I was very intrigued through your social media at the product. I know very, very little about it. I'm super interested in learning about it. But what I can tell you about the FFB is it's a massive community of people with low vision. And so it's an incredible organization to reach people who have low vision, all different kinds of low vision. I have low vision. I'll have more low vision. And people are all at different stages. Some people are very early stage where they're really hopeful about drug treatments coming on board. And other people are later stages where they're really looking at wearables and other devices to help them, with their daily living. So all of the, people of all those ranges are involved with the Foundation Fighting Blindness. So things like vision walks, conferences, booths. We have a partnership with Foundation Fighting Blindness, our own family foundation, and we have an event coming up in La Jolla in September. So I'd be very personally curious to know if you're doing beta, if demonstrations or anything like that, because we're going to have a community of people there in La Jolla who are low vision. So anyway, I'd love to talk to you at some point, Corrinalyn, and find out more about your product and what you're doing. And Chris, I'd be happy to sort of represent the FFB and in this partnership and how we can work together. There's a lot of glasses on the market and differentiating, and I'd love to understand how you're better, or what you're offering that the other ones don't, because I know some of the deficiencies of some of the other ones. So there's a lot of technology and keeping up. We go to the CSUN, to CSUN. So anyway, yeah, I'm just real happy. I'm right here locally. I think you're in San Diego. Am I right?
Yeah.
Our lab is, yes.
Yeah, we have
And
a
Corrinalyn, we also have a home in Seattle too. So I'm in both places.
well, I'm excited to meet you here virtually, but I definitely think there's a huge opportunity to collaborate across multiple cities. I love that you spoke a bit about the spectrum of low vision
Yeah.
because it's so true. I talk to people every single day somewhere on the spectrum of low vision, and each conversation is unique and different because people are faced with varying symptoms. And I love that we are partnering with you guys now because we are going to be stronger together. And to be able to, have a larger community know about not only our glasses, but know that there's hope and that there are people working tirelessly to make sure that these get to the market faster, um, so that they have that's something to look forward to. So I'm excited to meet you and to talk more and learn about how we can offer the community more opportunities to get involved. Because I think being present and showing up really matters, but bringing that community together in these spaces is helpful so that they understand some of those tools and resources available to them.
Yeah, and Cornell, I think one of the big things too that we think about from an organizational perspective, especially for anyone who's newly diagnosed or even others who are outside of the community, it's been said that blindness is a spectrum. Everyone's diagnosis is different. How they are visually seeing the world is much different. And, October for us is Blindness Awareness Month. And that's a time we really try to tell everyone stories, and break down those misconceptions of what blindness looks like. It's not just the cane, it's not the guide dog, and technology today, as you guys know, it's a place that allows everyone to have a lot more access. And I think when someone starts to see someone using a different device, especially mobile devices, and looking at the devices, don't realize how important accessibility is for our community. And so that's where education comes into play, and that's where even our chapters come into play. So it's extremely important for us.
I'd love to jump in real quick and address one of Janine's questions in terms of technology really quickly, because I think a lot of people here are familiar with Innovega, but I think a lot of people also have the same questions. So just in terms of where our technology is fitting into the spectrum of solutions, um, our understanding thus far in terms of the vision tech space is that many of the solutions that try to specifically serve the low vision community are very large VR type headsets that have a ton of electronics and stuff in order to provide digital visual and enhancements. But often people get, sick or dizzy in them. They're very disconnecting from the people in the world around them, and there's not really functional for daily life. There's the other spectrum, which is like consumer grade smart glasses, like the Meta glasses and many of the smart glasses in that space, which are starting to give you digital overlays and starting to do some AI based features, but there's no real vision enhancing component. So what Innovega is trying to really create is a kind of best in breed product that's bringing the technology of these vision enhancing tools in a more modern way, but in a hardware device that looks like any normal smart glasses. So you can actually have, digital overlays that are enhancing what you see, but it's not debilitating you further from doing things that you want to do in the world, seeing people next to you in your natural environment. So it's not disconnecting you from your environments. It's actually allowing you to engage more. So that's our goal, and that's kind of the trajectory we're on, and kind of the unique product fit that we're really trying to bring to the market. Hopefully that helps to clarify a little bit, Janine, and anyone else here who had some question marks. And I have a question for you guys as well. Like, one of your main goals I keep hearing is resources. So many of our community here is of low vision. what resources do people need to know about right now that are available right now that your organization has found to be the most beneficial and the most impactful to improve quality of life?
Joseph, one answer is not going to solve all of it, to the point. I think everyone's resources are a little bit different. Someone's probably just coming to us as an organization, just, I need help. I need to know information about what's going on with my vision and is there a treatment or a cure? For some other people is I just need to talk to someone. There's many parents out there that their children are being diagnosed and they just need to talk to other parents that are going through that similar experience. So, those are some of the resources. Some others are saying, how do I navigate life? How do I navigate my career? So that's where the chapters really come into play and being able to help you go through the situation that you're going through. So everything's a little bit different. May is today's May 15th. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Last year for a couple years, and Janine knows this as she's been personally involved with our team in this as part of our mental health advisory council. But we felt that we've heard from our community so many times that a diagnosis is really a journey that is missing some of the mental health needs. Um, a lot of people are trying to have a therapist to talk to, but then the therapist doesn't understand, again, the spectrum, and the diagnosis of blindness and low vision and how that goes about. So, last year we launched a mental health initiative and we have a mental health resource center that's available on our website. And we also entered into a partnership with Alma. They're a network of 25,000 specialists across the United States where, the importance for us was teaming up with an organization that felt that also education for their therapists was important. So we have put together a 2-day training session with them around blindness and low vision and what it really means. And we had probably about 350 of those therapists receive the training, and they are available on our website. So you can actually go and see, look for your state. We don't have all the states, covered just yet because each of the therapists have to be licensed, but we do have 37 states identified. If there's a state that you're in and it's not on the list, reach out to me. Let me know because then we can get you connected directly with Alma. But what's important with Alma is they do accept a lot of the major insurances out there. And that was one of the criteria that we had too. And, with the research center, it's again, sharing stories, from everyone. And I think that's again, one of the resources is people just want to hear from others. They want to know that there's a sense of community and there's other organizations like ourselves that are there for everyone to be able to help navigate their journey because everyone's journey is going to be a little bit different.
That's spot on. And Corrinalyn, like one of the things that we've been learning as well is the mental health aspect. If you start to withdraw from daily life, if you start to withdraw from the people and places around you, it can be a very slippery slope, especially from a mental health standpoint. So, Corrinalyn, you've talked to probably hundreds of people at this point. Help us understand the kind of the excitement to the potential of being able to integrate more deeply with environments and others, and the kind of response we've had from people in terms of bringing hope, bringing joy, bringing excitement back to life and how that serves them moving forwards.
Yeah, yeah. I've talked to many, many people, and it is, there are conversations that they're sad, but there are a lot of conversations where people are their voice cracks a little because they're really hopeful to get these glasses, and they've seen they know that we've done our clinical trials, they've seen some of our testimonials, and it always surprises me on some of the things I personally take for granted when I hear, someone just wants to see something simple like a menu, or something bigger like maybe their grandkid's face. And so I hear stories every single day, and it reminds me of why I get up in the morning, and we're working very hard to ensure that people get the glasses, so that they can have those moments again. And so it's exciting. it's exciting. When I first started, I was like, is this too good to be true? And then I got to, for myself, go to our lab and see firsthand how someone was able to see their husband sitting across from them, and the tears and the joy. And so to be able to bring joy back into people's lives, I think is incredible. And I'm very fortunate to be working for this company. I actually will go back a second and just say, I actually heard about Foundation Fighting Blindness from many of our supporters. I hadn't heard of it previously. I wish I had, just because my mom is got AMD, and I did not know that that resource existed. But we've heard from a lot of our supporters, like Foundation Fighting Blindness. They're doing great things. You got to go to the Vision Walk. And so I had heard like from some of our supporters about you guys. And so I'm just happy we got connected, and we're, I said this earlier, but it's true. By both organizations, we share a common mission. Like our goal is to help people with low vision, and together we're stronger. And so bringing the two, you know, communities together is going to help not only increase awareness that there's not only the technology that our company brings, but then the resource, the education, and the continuing ongoing fight that you guys are working towards to ensure that there are cures. So, um, yeah, it's inspiring work, and I'm thankful. And we're going to be out there in June at the Visions Walk, and I'd love, Chris, if you want to share a little bit more about that. But Innovega is going to be there, and we are going to be at the expo. But we're really excited about that opportunity because it's our first time ever participating in the event, and we can hardly wait.
Yeah, so again, this is Chris. And, as Corrinalyn said, we do have vision walks across the United States. So we break them out into the spring walks, fall walks in different cities. So there's different events that we have. And I'll put that URL in the chat so everyone can see if there's a location near you. But really, it's an opportunity, again, to meet people. To help fundraise for research and patient education. But as Corrinalyn was saying, we have a conference coming up in Fort Worth, Texas. That's from June 12th to 13th. It's called United in Vision. It's typically our visions conference that we do every 2 years. It's a 2-day session where there's a bunch of sessions around research updates, clinical trials, emerging therapies, mental health, technology and AI. There's also living and thriving type sessions to kind of just, I think even some of the different sessions that we have this year is, for those of you who love golf, with vision loss, how does that change the game? And maybe even with the Innovega glasses, how does that help the game? So there's different things that you'll be able to see. We have exhibit booths. We're expecting definitely over 500 people to be there. It's an opportunity to kind of meet others through our mix and mingles. But if anyone's in the area or looking to meet others, feel free to join us. We'll be excited to have you there.
Janine, I saw you took your mute off. Feel free to jump in if there's something you wanted to add.
Okay. Okay, there we go. I have a couple things to add. Just why we got involved in the Foundation Fighting Blindness when I got my diagnosis 5 years ago. And because it speaks to your question about resources. As we were searching for information and resources, what we found was the FFB was showing up on so many things that we were exploring. But what I do want to say is that the number one mission of the Foundation Fighting Blindness is to fund research that's going to lead to cures and treatments. So that is the number one mission. So they're not, they're not the Center for the Blind. They're not the Braille Institute. They're not Hadley. They're not an organization that it does training and living training skills and that kind of thing. The mission is raising money, and then actually they have a scientific board that's amazing, and actually selecting and choosing the research to fund that has led to, like Chris said, so many, they've had a role in so many of these clinical trials that really have come on board in the last 5 to 7 or 8 years. So they're really rolling. But as far as other resources, they have quarterly meetings that anybody can sign up for that are virtual, community connections where they have people come on and talk about research and the status of research and tools and what's going on in science scientifically. They do have the Visions conference that's coming up. There are other conferences that they offer as well. They have science updates that are virtual. They have something called My Retina Tracker, where people, when they get their genetic test, their genetic testing done, they can go onto this. They should go onto this My Retina Tracker and register their gene and their mutation, because that will help people be reached if there is a clinical trial that is applicable to their specific disease. And so that's a very important thing that is growing all the time, that they run. They provide referrals to specialists. I think that can go through chapters as well. And so there's just the science is number one, but these other things really help people feel like somebody cares. It's a large organization really cares. They're doing a lot and they're creating community. That's one of the main things that I've gotten out of being involved in the Foundation Fighting Blindness, is the community that you go to these events and you don't feel alone. There's all kinds of events and you're talking with other people who have diseases like yours, and you may be the only person in your life who has a disease like this. And the FFB provides some community. But again, they're not a training for living with blindness, but they are a connector. They're a connector.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I mean this as respectfully as possible. But what I keep hearing from many different sources is there's never been a better time to be blind, or there's never been a better time to have a visual condition. And I really mean that respectfully.
Yeah.
And the way I perceive that from different sources is there's so many amazing developments on the precipice of major breakthroughs from the biological side with regards to stem cell research and all kinds of stuff like that. And the technological side, in terms of what we're doing, what some of our competitors are doing, are really trying to break through with products that can get widely adopted because the technology is finally advancing to that stage. So it's exciting for us to be a part of one of those cycles. You guys are kind of a part of both of them. Is there anything else in the market right now that's got you really excited about some of the impacts or changes? I know there's probably many things like you're discussing that's really just to help our community have hope that there really are solutions coming down the line to stay strong, to stay integrated with society, to keep pushing yourself to be the best you can be because help is on the way. Feel free to address that, Chris or Janine, in any way that resonates with you.
Yeah, I think, it's Chris and Janine kind of mentioned this before. I mean, just several years ago, there was probably just a handful of clinical trials. And today there's over 60 clinical trials that are out there. And as I mentioned, there's one gene therapy that is on the market, that has a product out there that is for RP65, a form of Leber congenital amaurosis, as I had mentioned. But, one of the questions that I saw that just came in too is about genetic testing. What is genetic testing? So, the work we do, it's the research around inherited retinal diseases. So when someone gets diagnosed with Stargardt disease or Leber congenital amaurosis or Usher syndrome, those are diseases that are caused by a gene mutation. And as I mentioned, there's over 330 genes out there. So with the Foundation Fighting Blindness, if you are seeing an eye care professional and they diagnose you with a retinal disease, they can order genetic testing and counseling. And the foundation, with the help of a lot of our corporate partners and donors, we're able to offer free genetic testing and counseling for individuals who are diagnosed. So as Janine said, we have 45,000 members within our patient registry, and being a member of that registry allows you the opportunity to hear first, oh, there's a trial, you may be able to, qualify for. Here's, the company you should reach out to. Here's additional information and research. So that genetic testing gives you a little bit more of that mapping of what could be causing your blindness or low vision. Does it identify everything? No. But, again, it is science, and science is changing daily. And, as we mentioned, there was only a handful of clinical trials before. And so there are, constant work being done. And even though we are based in the United States, we're a global organization. We have a clinical consortium of over 40 clinical sites and researchers across the globe. So it's not just us doing the work, it's everyone's doing the work. And so if we can't find it, we have a partner that's also there working, and we're funding the research for anything that's, I'm seeing, a chromatopsia pop up with a CNGB3 gene. Someone knows their genes. So if there's work being done for that, they may be able to get the help and the resources available for that specific research. So that's a lot of the work. It's all about the research, and without having all the funding to be able to push, there's so much research out there. And I think now we're at the point, I think back in the day, it was one where we need funding to start the research. Now there's so much research that needs to be done. Now we need the funding to continue the research. So how do we keep fundraising? And I think, word of mouth, just everyone that's here today, I just want to say thank you for joining, and if you can help spread the word about who we are as an organization, that gets us a step closer.
Yeah, I agree. And this is Janine. I can I can add something to that too. The question about is what we're excited about. Just everything Chris said, all of the research is very, very exciting. And then we can go to, okay, the vision is lost. The vision is lost. That's another area where there's a lot of exciting things happening. One of them is vision restoration research and vision, and there are several clinical trials that are working on vision that really have some viable technology to, medical treatments that can restore vision. And so that we're very hopeful about that for some people. And then the technology is great. Canes and guide dogs are amazing, and they provide so much independence, and we have so much respect for what those tools, how important they are, and what they do for people, and how much freedom they bring to people. In addition to those tools, the technology that you are developing and that other companies are developing is really exciting, because we're dealing with the vision is lost, and what can we do to see better? And what I find, I try to follow as much of it as I can, but there is a lot going on. And it seems like what I notice is there's something that comes up short, just like you were saying, Joseph, with each of them. And there isn't one thing that accomplishes everything you need. And you're right, big or bulky or heavy, or you have to be stationary, or there's just something with each one. So keeping an eye on the technology in terms of glasses I think is one of the most exciting areas if some of those barriers can be overcome. And I really like to watch Sam.
Yep. Sam Seavey, yeah.
Sam Seavey, his if you all are familiar with Sam Seavey, he's got a YouTube channel. He reviews tech every Saturday. He reviews tech devices, and so he's a good resource for people as far as resources to look at what tech is out there right now and is available right now, and he reviews it. But there's a lot out there, and we're really excited every time we see something new coming down the pike that might do something more than what's out there currently does is very exciting.
Very, very much. And I'm gonna integrate some things here because we've got someone in the chat who actually Mel and Bev would want thank you for joining us, Mel. We appreciate you guys here. Corrinalyn, can you help us understand how you connected with Mel? And then maybe Mel, if you feel comfortable, feel free to get on. They just were our most recent in-lab demonstration. So Mel, you're welcome to share your experience as well. So let's try this. It's something new.
Yeah.
We'll go with it.
Awesome. Well, crazy story, but Mel was one of the people I had actually reached out to who had submitted onto our website just wanting to know more about Innovega. And our first meeting that we had, actually, we were on the phone together. And I love that Mel kind of held me accountable and saying, not a lot of people know about Innovega. Like, who are you? And I've never heard of you, and these other organizations have never heard of you. So, like, tell me more. And I loved that because for me, I was like, exactly, like this is how this opportunity right here, right now, is an opportunity to like further our reach. And so Mel, thank you for that. And obviously, we're involved with multiple other low vision organizations as well. And the fact, though, that you said that was like, wow, we need to talk about that story. We need to tell folks the things that we're doing with these organizations. We haven't been shouting it from the rooftop, but here's an opportunity. So, and then Mel, we work together to bring Mel into our lab so that his wife could actually try on our product. And so, Mel, if you're out there and you want to come off mute, would love to have you or Bev talk a little bit about your experience.
All right, you're welcome to pop in, Mel. We hope you will. If you're just figuring out the technology, we'll welcome you when you get here. But I appreciate there's some very kind comments in the chat from Mel about encouraging people to engage because, as Janine was saying, there's a million things out there, and one of the hardest things to do right now is to determine what's real and what's really not really real, for lack of a better word, what's not really substantial. So Mel had also encouraged everyone to join our founder series, our founders community, which is where you get one of the very first batches that will arrive. I just want to take a little bit of time for a second to answer many people's questions about when can I try them? When will they arrive? So I just put a link in the chat where you can learn more about being one of our earliest adopters. We really encourage the community to sign up now. In terms of the amount of trials that we have available, they're very limited right now, but our CTO is actually going to our manufacturer next week. We're hoping that we're going to get our brand newest integrated prototypes back with full functionality. And if everything's moving successfully over the latter half of this year, we do hope to have many more in-person demonstrations available. But I don't recommend waiting for one of those before maybe determining to join our founders community. I do recommend booking a call with Corrinalyn or myself to speak through some of your visual conditions to better determine if they're going to be a fit for you. A lot of people are asking about if I have this specific condition or that specific condition, will these help me? And it doesn't, what we're finding, it doesn't really work like that. There's no map of conditions that helps and map of conditions that doesn't help. It really depends on the reality of your visual capabilities. What can you see right now? What tools do you utilize that you find beneficial? Do you find bringing out your phone and zooming in on things and holding your phone close to your face, is that beneficial for you, even though it's not beneficial for your daily life? Well, if you can do that, there's a very good chance that what we can offer you will benefit you. So it's more about having a conversation with what the reality of your situation is rather than the name of your condition in order to determine if these will help you. Cornelin, is there anything you wanted to add on top of that?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to circle back around to Mel and the experience that I had there in the lab with Mel and Bev. And after they tried on our glasses, after Bev tried the glasses on, they ended up purchasing the glasses. So that to me spoke volumes of the trust and the hope and the excitement that they had as an experience of coming in and doing a demo. So I just wanted to share that as well because Mel wasn't able to come off mute, but just wanted to share that story because I think to me that's where it's at in giving hope and people who have come in trying the glasses and seeing firsthand that it worked for them. So.
No, that's fantastic, and I appreciate that. Chris and Janine, is there anything else you'd really like to address? We've only got about 15 minutes left on this call, that we haven't touched upon yet that you think would be valuable for our community, to know, to understand. Feel free to take the mic, and whatever you think would be most valuable. And also one real quick, Mel is off mute on camera. Mel, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. Can you see and hear me okay?
We can.
Hey, sorry, I'm getting a little old and my tech is not so savvy. But to everybody on here, first of all, I want to thank you all for putting this on. And I'm so happy we got to know about the foundation. Chris, when we were out there, you would be proud. The team had hit me up for a donation and we've already joined you. So I very much believe in what you guys are doing. I made Lean Head work with a couple other organizations around the world. So it's just great to hear about you guys. Our experience was touching. It is a work in progress. My wife and I have had to accept that. It's not going to be an instantaneous product. It's immediately going to be there. But I am convinced that this crew cares about us, and that the product that we end up getting will be better because they took the time to listen to some people and they didn't just try to tell the world what was needed. Instead, they asked the world, the vision world, what is needed. And I hope and pray, and I actually made them promise if they ever went on any other tangents, never to forget the vision world. And their CEO told me that this would always be a part of their company. And that was important to me. And I don't mean to be a commercial for them, but the biggest thing it gave us that we were mentally needing was hope. And that's what I salute your foundation for, which I wish I would have found out about sooner, is that ability to put people together and let us have hope from each other and hope from what's out there. So I'll quit preaching. Sorry it took me a while to get the technology going right.
All good. No worries. Good to see you, Mel, and thank you for joining. And Mel's right. I did hit them up immediately for a donation for the Vision Walk, because we are going to be doing that Vision Walk on Saturday. And so I took that opportunity to not only tell him about your foundation, but get some, help with some fundraising, so that we can further research.
I'm going to hop off here. I've got a Rotary meeting where I've got to do a presentation on a different charity that I work a lot with, called Mobility Worldwide. I'll put a plug in for there. Take a quick peek at our website. But I'm part of the meeting, so I've got to scoot. So, but I'm hoping there's a recording here of the parts that I goofed and got off of. I'll catch later. And I thank you very much for letting me be part of it. And I didn't know I was going to be. So thank God I got the technology going.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you, Mel.
Bye-bye.
Really appreciate you. Okay, so I'll go back to Chris and Janine. Feel free to jump in again with any kind of final words, thoughts. Again, this is to be valuable to our community and help people on their individual paths.
Yeah, so this is Chris again, and it's one of those that, again, everyone's needs are going to be a little bit different. I know there's so much information that we weren't even able to get to today. So, if you go to fightingblindness.org and visit our website, there's tons of information from, again, the chapters that we have to personal stories that we publish. We publish these stories every other week called Beacon Stories. And it talks about individuals who are going through vision loss and what their journey is. We have everything from May's Mental Health Awareness Month. If you have a general question and don't even know where to go, or who to contact, or is there available resources in my area, you can simply just send an email to info@fightingblindness.org, and someone on our staff will connect with you, answer your questions, or even just get you connected to someone you may be looking for. Is it a low vision resource like the Innovega glasses? Is it just, I need to talk to somebody, or I need a retinal specialist that helps me? So, we have so much information that's available. And we also have, as we were talking about, resources from our newsletters to a podcast called Eye on the Cure podcast. There's so many different resources that we have available. So again, so much information to be able to get out there, but not enough time to be able to put it all out there.
Thank you, Chris and Janine.
I would just add follow Fighting Blindness on social media.
Feel free to add the link in the chat for everyone, Janine. So
Yeah.
Randy asked, will the
You did that, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris has been pretty amazing speaking and linking at the same time. Chris, I'm very impressed with your multitasking. Randy asked, will the questions in this chat be answered? So Randy, we are doing our best to answer as many as we can as we go. And the last part of this session, we'll go back and try to answer questions one by one to the best of our abilities. If there's a question you really have that you want answered that you don't think was answered, feel free to put it at the bottom of the chat again for us. Janine and Chris both talked about fundraising and funding. The only thing and advancements that are made possible are through funding and support. So I'd like to take a quick moment to say Innovega and for-profit, non-for-profit companies are all the same. Funding is needed to continue to fuel this growth. So we actually just wrapped up a previous funding round a couple months ago, and we're about to head into our next one, which is going to fuel the scaled production of our technology. I'm putting a link in the chat right now where you can reserve shares in that campaign. And the way the reservations works is you don't have to put any money down. When the campaign opens, you'll get 10% bonus shares simply by reserving. So I strongly recommend everyone do that. And to sweeten the pot, lots of people say they like our swag hats. So we will do a raffle for anyone who reserves today. We'll go into the raffle and the winner will get a Innovega hat moving into the next round of funding. So we do appreciate everyone's support, and we could not make any of this possible without our investor community who we love and we appreciate. And that's a big part of our journey, as big a part as those that we're serving. So with that in mind, Corrinalyn, is there anything else you wanted to add before we dive into the questions, which is, again, a little more tedious, and we'll go through those quickly, but would be happy to hear your thoughts. And again, maybe just a shout out to our involvement with the Vision Walk in Orange County tomorrow morning as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Janine and Chris both we talked about this and we talked about resources, but staying informed is powerful. It's one thing I think that is critical in this journey. And so I highly encourage people to go to the Foundation Fighting Blindness website and sign up for the podcasts and for the newsletters. The gene tracking. I talked to a client yesterday and they told me all about the gene tracking and how they are staying informed. They did the free genetic testing, and they're able to follow this gene. And I hadn't heard about it until yesterday, actually. And I thought, wow, that is a great way to stay informed, which is truly, truly powerful. So just love all the resources that you guys are making available to the low vision community. I'm finding out more and more the more we hang out. But yes, we will be there tomorrow in Orange County. In the exact location, do you have that by chance, Joseph? I'm not sure if you have the exact what
I
the name of
don't,
that park is off the top of your head.
I don't, Chris may though.
Okay.
Chris or Janine might
I
know.
don't.
Yeah, so that's going to be at the Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley, California. So
Okay.
I just put the link in the chat so anyone
Thank
can
you.
that area can join us.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're in the area, you should totally come out, say hi. We're going to be there. And the community is going to be coming out there. And I think there's going to be I think they had over 300 walkers last year. And so I'm, I'm told that they may have even more this year. So it's growing the more that we can tell people about it. But again, just want to also put a plug out there for the United Envisions Conference that's happening in June. Foundation Fighting Blindness is putting that on, and we will be there. And it's not too late to buy tickets for that event to come out and support. So hopefully we can pop some information in the chat as well for you to fly out. I'm going to be flying out there. Just booked my airline tickets. So looking forward to supporting and maybe we'll have some folks here on this call that are going to join us and come say hello.
Yeah, I have a question, Corrinalyn. Will you be
Yeah.
doing demos in the
Yeah.
demos at the
Yes.
expo?
So our goal is to be able to do some demos while there in the expo center. So that
Okay.
is what we are hoping to be able to do. Like Joseph said, our CTOs getting the product right now and going to be bringing it home, and so that we can have that capability.
Okay,
Yeah, we're excited.
that's great.
Thank you, Corrinalyn. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
If for those that need to jump soon, I put all of the links at the bottom of the chat, how to join our founders community, how to reserve shares, how to schedule a call with Corrinalyn if you want to have a follow-up one-on-one call. You have specific questions that were not answered. Foundation Fighting Blindness website. And also there's a quick video on how our glasses work if you're still a little confused or unclear on the technology itself. Obviously, it's not a perfect rendition, but it's a very good understanding of the functionalities to better determine if those can serve you. I'm going to go through some of the questions that are outstanding. Chris and Janine, feel free to jump in if you want to answer any of them. I might point some your way if I feel it's relevant. And we will move through these fast. I know it's Friday morning, the weekend's almost here, so we really do respect everyone's time as well. But we also find the question and answer period is some of the most valuable things we can offer. So we do appreciate everyone who's staying. A question about, do the glasses help with people with ocular albinism? I'm not going to spend too much time on these types of questions as we addressed, but we have found people with ocular albinism have benefited from this technology. It does depend on the severity of your condition. But again, if you have specific questions or want to share more with us, you're welcome to book a call with Corrinalyn or apply to demo our glasses, where our clinicians will review your medical information in a HIPAA certified way. To do that, you can go to innovega.com/demo. Jerian, you've been reaching out with a couple messages about wanting to be potentially an advocate. I sent you a reply saying send us an email to social@innovega.io. That's the best way to connect with our team and continue any conversations along those lines. Moving forward, thank you everyone for being here and just sharing your information. Is there a chapter in San Diego? Yes, there was. Will the glasses help with RP? Again, there's thousands of types of RP, so it's very difficult to generalize a statement. And again, we encourage you to book a call with us if you want to talk specifically more about your condition and try to get a better understanding if the technology will help you. I also encourage you to watch the video. If the video shows you how the glasses work and you think that's something that would work for you, you're going to start to be able to answer your own questions that way. Carol said, Joseph, your microphone is too low. I turned it up. Hopefully that's been better since that. And Carol, thank you for that. Someone's excited about camera lenses. Camera eyeglasses are coming to market. Yes, they are. Is there a Houston chapter? Chris said, yes, there absolutely is, with a link because he's amazing like that. Is there going to be a way to try these before you purchase? Not necessarily, Levon, not necessarily at this stage. You can apply for a demo. Like I said, innovega.com/demo. Right now, those opportunities are very limited, so I would not rely on that. But like Corrinalyn's shared and I shared, we are hoping to open up more opportunities moving forwards. But I do encourage you to try to find some of the answers through conversations with us, looking at our videos, looking at our resources, because a lot of times you can answer that question in terms of if you think they will be beneficial for you. We do have a limited amount in our founders community. That means getting one of the very first pairs that we launch with. That's probably going to be early to mid next year when they actually get delivered. There were some questions about delivery timelines, and that's what we're looking at right now. There's a ton of testing and manufacturing and engineering and quality controls we're going through. These are going to be Apple grade products. Our manufacturing team is called Quanta Computer. They are the best in the world at building technologies like this. So we're building these glasses so that they are as resilient as an iPhone. You can drop them, they will still work. That is our goal, to bring really the best in-class technology to market, and that takes time. So we appreciate everyone's patience. We're trying to do this the right way. There's a mom of two with Stargardt's disease. Again, asking about demos, which we've addressed. People are sharing information in the chat. We're not going to reach out to you through this information. I encourage you to email us one more time at social@innovega.io. You can share your information there, and that's how we'll be able to better connect with you, just so we know you're being heard. So that's Brenna. If you're still here, I encourage you to do that. Is there a chapter in West Texas around Abilene? Chris?
Oh, let me double check. I know we're in different areas in Texas, so it may be best to go to our website, fightingblindness.org, to double check because I'm seeing we definitely have Houston and Dallas, so and Austin. So if we send an email to info@fightingblindness.org and someone can get back to you and confirm what's the closest to you.
Beautiful. Are the cameras for the glasses live, or are they like AI glasses that just take pics and videos? They are absolutely live. That is the huge jump in the technology. And that's why it's so difficult for anyone else to do this, is because in order to have the engineering and the wiring and the electrical, components in such a small frame to be able to give you a live video feed is very difficult. And that's exactly what we're doing, BJ. So I hope that clarifies that question. And that's what many of these AI glasses are doing exactly like you said, just taking photos and videos with the camera is completely different than having the live feedback on display screens in front of you, which is where we're going to market with. Mel said, "We were blessed to try on the glasses, and my wife Bev is very optimistic they will be able to help her see our grandsons' faces." Once again, Mel, that was really special. And appreciated you being here. Mel says, "I recommend everyone signing up to be on the list for their first batch." That's again talking about our founders community. The links are in the chat. Um, Carol had asked, Janine, never heard of genetic testing. Who does the genetic testing? Feel free to jump in.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so absolutely. So any eye care professional who diagnoses a retinal disease can order the testing. If they have any questions, again, they can reach out to us at info@fightingblindness.org. There is more information on our website, and you can go to, I'll put this in the website, but there's the myretinatracker.org. Will take you directly to the genetic testing, and a coordinator within that area will be able to help too. So I'll put their email address there.
One of the things I could tell you how genetic testing changed my life. I knew something had been wrong with my eyes for 15 years, and I'd been told by my retina specialist that they didn't know what it was. They had no idea. And then finally in 2020, I got genetic testing and found out that the gene that is mutated is called PRPH2. And that has led me to work with a couple of other people and with the FFB to build a community of people who all have mutations of PRPH2. So we have quarterly calls, all the PRPH2 people. We have a Facebook page. We're having a conference that is all about the PRPH2 gene coming up in September. So learning my gene really changed my life. So you just don't know what can happen when you learn your gene. You may find a community, or you may start a community if you learn what gene is causing your disease.
Thank you so much, Janine. Appreciate you. There was another question. This might have just been answered. How do we get into retinal testing? Can you just clarify, was that already just answered, or is that a separate question?
That is the same one.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm apologize in advance for my pronunciation. I have familial exudative vitreoretinopathy. Are there any known treatments so far, Chris or Janine?
I would say with that one, it's probably out of our core disease research that we do. But if you send an email to info@fightingblindness.org, we'll have someone get back to you because we do know a large community within the ophthalmology space, so we can kind of direct you to the right group to connect with.
Beautiful. Just want to ask Chris and Janine, are you okay to stay on a few more minutes? I know we're over time. I don't want to interrupt your own schedules if you're not able to.
I am.
I'm good.
Okay, beautiful. We'll keep going, and it's like two steps forwards, one step back. We're going through these questions. I just got 20 new comments. We will get to all of them, we promise. Um, Other people are asking about RP and if these glasses will help. I think we've addressed that to the best of our ability right now, in terms of it depends on your severity. My daughter is excited. She was watching the videos, wondering about the contacts with the glasses, as we live close to Fort Worth. So we didn't really talk about this too much. What's that, Janine?
Good question.
Great question. Yeah. So Innovega has been around for almost 10 years. And for the majority of our life cycle, the company has been working on smart contact lenses that work in conjunction with smart glasses. That's what we call our Gen 2 product line. So Gen 2, because its smart contacts do touch the eyes, that requires FDA approvals. We've successfully conducted phase 1 and phase 2 FDA trials, and we are preparing for phase 3. That product line will not be ready for market until at least 2028. There's a longer product development standpoint with that. One of the reasons that our CTO, Arthur, wanted to help us pivot to Gen 1, which is just our smart glasses, is to be able to get a helpful technology to the market quickly. So the smart contacts with the glasses basically gives you this full 120-degree digitally enhanced display. He calls that like the Ferrari performance. And then the Gen 1 glasses are basically like the Lexus. It gives very beneficial benefits, better than any technology on the market right now, but we can move quickly with it while continuing to develop our Gen 2 line. So hopefully that provides some clarity. And Janine, you look very interested. So did you have any quick follow-ups on that? I want to make sure we're addressing people's curiosity, and I think you're a great representative of many others on this call.
No, that was something I was wondering about. I'm glad that question was asked because I was wondering, I thought I had seen something about contact lenses. And so so I appreciate you explaining that. It's really interesting.
Absolutely. And for those, again, considering joining our investor community, we do hold 80 international patents. Many of them, the majority of them are in the contact lens space. We own it. We have had huge breakthroughs that other companies have spent literally hundreds of millions of dollars to try to have these breakthroughs who were unable to. So we have that in our back pocket in terms of our company's valuation and future prospects that we're very excited about. Again, we don't talk about it too much right now, but if you do join our investor community, it's definitely very important information for you to know. James said, I need to send in my founders payment. The founders community link is in the chat. James, if you have any questions, let us know. Send us an email or book a call with Corrinalyn. BJ ordered a pair, had an estimate when they'd be sent out. Once again, we think it's going to be Q1 or Q2 2027 with the final go-to-market product. If we applied to be parts of the demo trials, how long before we hear back? That's totally in our clinicians' wheelhouse. We're not allowed to even look at that information because it's HIPAA certified. They are reviewing all demonstrations. So, Skylar, I can't give a specific reply, but generally it's a couple weeks before you'll hear back if you've been invited to phase 2 or not of the application process. If you never hear back or you think it's too long before you hear back, send us an email and we'll do a manual check on your application on your behalf. I'm an ambassador for the Blinded Veterans Association in San Diego. Suzuki, I sent you a link to email us. Would love to connect with you. We look forward to connecting with different advocates, just as we're partnering with the Foundation Fighting Blindness. We are all working together, and the only way we're going to have an impact is by helping one another. So we'd love to connect with you. Someone asked how we can book an appointment. There's a schedule call with Corrinalyn link in the chat numerous times. I encourage you to just click that and have a lovely conversation with her. Corrinalyn, why don't you jump in real quick and help people understand what does booking a call with you mean?
Yeah.
What kind of value is there for you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I will tell you, you'll get one-on-one just conversation. You can ask me anything about the glasses. And we could talk a little bit more about the tools that you're using today to be able to see better and if our product is going to be a right fit for you. Because to Joseph's point, it's not a right fit for everyone, but that conversation is so valuable because it also gives us more information that we can take back to our team, our chief technology team, and share some of the conditions and the varying symptoms that maybe somebody has as it relates to a condition. So it's a two-way conversation. I'm learning more about you. I can tell you more about the glasses, and it is one-on-one. We do a Zoom, or we can just do a call either way. So, but you'll have me, and if there are things that I don't have answers to, I will get those internally from the company, and we will. I usually get back really quickly with those answers. So, would love you to set up time with me if you have more questions.
Corrinalyn's also an excellent point person if you have questions about becoming an investor or different things you want to know. She's an excellent point person to have those conversations with as well. Randy asked, will the questions in this chat be answered? Hopefully we have answered that over the last 20 minutes, Randy. You can hold us accountable if we're doing a good job or not. How soon will this recording be available? John asked. My goal is to get a replay up on our YouTube channel by the end of day today. If not, then Monday at the latest. And we will be sending the link out to everyone who signed up. Chris and Janine, feel free to share with your community as well. If there's anything specific you need from us in order to do that, just let us know and we'll give you whatever you need to help get the word out because I think your guys' participation has been incredibly valuable. And again, however we can support your guys' initiatives, please reach out. We'll bend over backwards for you. James said he participated in our founders community. Fantastic. Can you explain what level of company ownership comes with the investment? How many shares total outstanding? Are there multiple share types or are all they same? Randy and Nancy, I don't want to quote anything that's not specifically accurate. That's a great question for our CEO. But I will say that our valuation moving into the next round is now going to be approximately 108 million. I do believe that we have approximately 3,400 shareholders to date. I think we have approximately 25 million shares outstanding. Do not quote me, but those are my approximate numbers. And for the shares available for the next funding round, they will be common shares through the Start Engine fundraising platform. And thank you. They said we invested in the first round. We appreciate you, Randy and Nancy. Thank you for joining our community. And just so you know, Innovega has been raising money over their 10-year history. So this, I think, will be our, sixth or seventh fundraising round, just like Amazon or SpaceX. We're continuing to grow our valuation, continuing to grow our share price, and continuing to prioritize our investor community at every stage along the way. Our CEO is very conscious about this. When are you having one in Ohio? Asked Charles. I'm not sure. Charles, feel free to clarify that question. Perhaps Chris and Janine do have a center in Ohio. Maybe we'll start there.
Yeah, it's Chris. If you're looking for a Vision Walk in Ohio, just just take a look at visionwalk.org and you'll be able to kind of look at the cities that we have available. But again, send an email to info@fightingblindness.org and someone from the team can help direct you because it does look like we have several within the area. We just want to make sure we direct you to the right location.
Beautiful. Ray said, I've been chosen for a product demo, but I'm waiting for a time frame. I've paid for the founder glasses. And then Brenna responded, can you help me understand? You paid for the founder's glasses, but are waiting on a product demo. So those that are still a little confused about the breakdown of what's happening on our journey right now, you can apply to demo our prototypes. There 1% or less of people get selected from that process at this time. Ray, I believe, was one of those selected, but I think there was a conversation yesterday with one of my associates. I'm not certain of that, Ray. So I think Chelsea was phoning you directly and to clarify that. Brenna,
Yes,
your question
correct.
about buying the Founders Series, but waiting on a demo. So it's two different things. You can join our Founders community, pre-order your glasses, which will be delivered next year. That's one thing. And you can also apply to have an early demonstration. Two kind of different actions, all related obviously to the same rollout of the end product. Someone said we can trade room and board for tickets. I'm not sure what that is. If we submit an actual application to take part in a demo, when can we expect to hear back about our eligibility? Like I said, usually a couple weeks is a good wait time. If you're really curious and you have not heard back, Skylar, please send us an email to social@innovega.io and we'll manually check in on the status of your application for you. For the cameras, are the cameras live or Pix videos? Yes, they are live. Also, I mean, it's worth noting that the display screens that come up when you turn the glasses on can also play live feeds of YouTube videos or whatever you want. So you don't have to use the screens to have a live feedback of your environment. You can also use them for more consumer gaming or other considerations like that. We really have built these up to be a platform not just to serve the low vision community, but also to be top of the line consumer grade glasses where you can integrate, other media feedback sessions as well. Do the glasses help when one's eye vision is significantly different than the other? That's the issue I have with the Meta glasses. I mean, that's a deep comment there, Aaron. Yes, they do help. Most people have one vision that's different than the other in the other glasses. And the Meta glasses, keep in mind, are not built in any way to assist the vision impaired community. At this point in time, we've had many people come through our demos that have tried the Meta glasses, and they're like, they don't help me at all. And that's because they're not built to help you. And that's exactly why we're not building smart glasses for general consumers. We are building vision enhancing tools that look exactly like lightweight smart glasses. Someone asked how to communicate with Corrinalyn. She wonderfully shared a link. Again, there's a schedule call with Corrinalyn link all throughout the chat. For those still with us, which is many of you, we appreciate that. We're almost there. Just to confirm, you will have demo prototypes at Visions in Fort Worth. Corrinalyn, you confirmed that is the plan?
I did. Yes, that's the goal. So that is our plan.
Okay, Brenna asked, can someone put the .com address? And Chris responded. Brenna said, I received this since you were one of our first. Okay, she received an email from us with a payment plan for the glasses. And yes, it is legit, Brenna. So we had our early reservations list before we made the pre-orders available. We had about 1,000 people join that early reservations list. For those that were unable to purchase the glasses for full price, we did have an exclusive payment plan option to make that more affordable for them. This group is a wonderfully engaged group. If that's something that resonates with you, I also would encourage you to send us an email, social@innovega.io, and we'll see if we can make a special exception for you because you participated in this webinar. We really enjoy people's participation, and we do want to give you additional benefits that are not available to the general community. So I encourage you to take that action sooner than later because that will expire in June. Chris, thank you again just for all your amazing link sharing. I've never really seen anyone like I said, that can deliver a presentation, read and text at the same time. I would love to take a course from you to learn how you can do that. Georgie says, I'm part of the founders community. I have the opportunity to purchase. If I purchase, I won't get them until next year. Corrinalyn already answered. That is correct. Can you drive with Innovega, Randy? Yes, that's a great question. So this is a difficult. We've had people that demoed them that have had to recently give up their licenses because they can no longer see well enough to drive. Many people have said, with these, I could drive. So from a functionality standpoint, some people absolutely could benefit from a driving standpoint. But the complication is there's not a lot of laws around digital driving aids. And Chris and Janine, you're welcome to jump in if you know more than me. So what we can't specifically answer if you will be allowed to or not, because it'll depend on the evolution of your local driving laws. But now that more and more digital vision tools are becoming accessible, we do expect the laws to start paying more attention and start to clarify, what's approved and what's not. Chris and Janine, feel free to jump in if there's anything I missed or was incorrect about along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's going to be broken down state by state. I do know some individuals that use other devices and are able to drive with those. So I would say definitely reach out to your local motor vehicle administration to find out what the qualifications are.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. We are actually working locally in Ohio. Just started chatting with them because it is a technology first state. And so they have approved some form of glasses for people to be able to drive. So we're talking to them to see how they got those glasses approved and to find out more so that we can work across states to get our glasses approved. But right now we're just at the very early stages of finding out how they did that.
I think California is another place that does have approval for glasses. I know the ones that have the magnifier across the top.
Yeah.
They do allow those in California, and California's requirement is that you have to be able to see 20/40 to be able to drive. So yeah, I think what you're doing is great because that's going to be a top question people are going to have. will these help me drive? And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's such a big part of independence, and we do get asked that a lot. So, but that's good to know that California also has that. So I will definitely look into that. Thank you, Janine.
Yeah.
Michael says, I have Best disease. Will these help? He talked about his gradually impairing central vision loss. Again, Michael, it's hard for us to determine that without knowing the severity of your condition. We will say that those with central vision loss are the primary benefactors of this initial product. Central vision loss has been something we've had the most success addressing in demonstrations thus far. What is the price of the glasses? Corrinalyn answered, currently, it is $29.50. That is below the value that we'll end up going to market with. This is an exclusive price for the founders community. And moving forwards very quickly, that price will be increasing because we're going to be covering sales tax on your behalf. So you probably have a couple more weeks to purchase at that price before it starts to move up. And again, for those that do feel that's high, it is high for many low vision people. We are trying to make these as accessible as possible. For technologies in the vision tech space, many of those big bricks that you're wearing on your head are priced between $3,000 and $6,000. So we're right at the bottom of that. And what we're providing, our aim is to be infinitely better usability. So we do feel like we're providing the best possible technology at the lowest possible price. And our goal is to continually work with different pathways to make sure that these are accessible to as many people as possible. We are very aware that many people with low vision are not the wealthiest people in the world. And we're not trying to profit by the very small percentage that have money in the bank. We do want to have the maximum impact on people's livelihoods. And we're working very hard on many levels to achieve that. And I'm sure Foundation Fighting Blindness is fighting the same fight across all, and it's something you constantly hear is we respond to every single social media comment, right? And so many people are pissed off and tired of technologies coming out that no one can afford. We get it. We're not ignoring that. These are brand new technologies. They're expensive. We're still determining our manufacturing costs. So trust us, guys. We're trying to do our best to get these to you. And like I said, we've opened up an exclusive payment plan for specific people at this time, only because we're trying to make these more accessible. So again, if you have questions, if you have concerns, please reach out to us. We are bending over backwards to do everything we can to get these to you. A couple more questions.
Help. Can I have to interfere. I can't find my chat here. I've lost Corrinalyn's address. I'm trying to make contact with her. I wasn't able to score with the hour I chose, and I've lost the email. So can you please repeat it for me?
Absolutely,
I'm in
Jen.
a sort of panic here. Yeah.
No need to panic. We appreciate you jumping in
Okay.
with such enthusiasm. Social, Social,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Innovega,
Inno-
INNOVEGA .io.
.io. Okay, and that will get me to the scheduling a phone call with her?
Just tell us, hey, I'm Janet, I'm the infamous Janet, and I want to schedule a call with Corrinalyn. We'll send you the link. It'll be easiest that way.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Thank you.
No
Yes.
problem.
Thanks,
a lot.
Janet. Looking forward to talking to you.
Good. Me too.
Dan says, so we buy before you try. At this stage, yes, they're pre-orders, Dan. Don, this is brand new technologies. We are trying to give people more opportunities to try before they buy, but it's just not feasible at this stage. So if you want to participate on some of the benefits of the early community, and that's why we're trying to give people additional benefits to trust us as early adopters. We encourage you to do so. But we're also open to having conversations to, again, help address any questions you have before you do so. BJ
Also,
asked, go for it.
also real quick on that, just it is a money back guarantee. So if you order the glasses and you get the glasses and they don't work for you, there will be a money back guarantee. So just want to
Absolutely.
remind folks of that as well.
Thank you, Corrinalyn. I appreciate that. BJ asked if you can adjust Zoom with the glasses. Absolutely, as Corrinalyn already answered in the chat. Texas does as well with 20/70 in one eye with bioptic. I guess I'm assuming that's to do with the driving laws. As founder members, will there be any discounts available on future upgrades and versions? Randy and Nancy, you guys have great questions. No clarity on that at this point in time. We definitely want to prioritize our founders community for life. So I definitely think that we will be offering benefits to you along the way. Steve Wiley, our CEO, will probably kill me for saying something like that. So I can't be specific about what they are, but we absolutely will be continuing to want you to continue invest in the best technologies available, and supporting that pathway in various ways. So I can't answer with specifics, but we definitely will bend over backwards for all of our founders, community members, because we just really appreciate you being a part of this at this crucial stage of our journey. Final question. Bella is wanting one day to be able to drive. We are in Oklahoma, 1 hour away from Dallas. Her optometrist, Bella, is adapted very well, legally blind, uses assisted devices for school, makes straight A's. We've worked on adaptive behavior since 18 months. We have people that will help donate. Fantastic. Probably donate to the Foundation Fighting Blindness, donate to Innovega's investment campaign. Again, I love that she uses assisted devices in school because, for example, we've had some, students come in where they can't see the blackboard, right? And that's millions and millions of people have had that experience throughout human history. You can't see the blackboard, and all kinds of things are done to try to resolve that. Now, with these glasses, you can sit in your desk, you can turn the display screens on, you can zoom into the screen. Doesn't mean everyone's going to see perfectly, but many people are going to be able to benefit from these from the seat of their desk at any place in the classroom. And that is a primary example of how we're trying to serve this community. We don't have glasses fitted for very small children at this stage, but we are working on making the glasses smaller and smaller and smaller as the technology develops to be able to serve that community. Randy, thank you, Joseph. Thank you for the answers and questions. Randy, we served you well. Thanks for keeping us on point. Janine, Chris, Corrinalyn, final words goes to you guys. Everyone stayed here. Amazing. Take the mic.
I just, from Chris's perspective in the Foundation Fighting Blindness, just want to say thank you for the time and the invitation.
Same with me. Thank you for inviting me. I was surprised to get the invitation. I appreciate it. Can you say the name of your CEO one more time?
Paul.
Steve Wiley.
Steve Wiley.
No, just
Thank you.
Steve Wiley. And for our investor community, Steve Wiley has an experience of bringing companies public successfully. So he knows how to protect shareholders' interests, and that is his priority as our CEO.
Is that
Corrinalyn.
W-Y-L-I-E?
Willey.
Great. Thank you.
No
Yeah,
problem.
absolutely. And I'd be happy to set up a call, Janine, with you and him directly. So just let me know and I can make that happen. But, final words I would say is just thank you so much, Chris, for all the work that the Foundation Fighting Blindness is doing, and Janine, and for being here today and sharing information, valuable resources. Again, knowledge is power. When you have resources to be able to understand the things that are happening and new technologies, I think that is just critical. So I couldn't be more thrilled that we have a new partnership that we're establishing. I can't wait to see the continued work that we will do as time goes by. But thank you everybody who joined us. We're so excited that you took this time with us, and looking forward to all those meetings that are going to pop up on my calendar, and I give you some one-on-one time, and answer questions that you still have. So thank you so much. We love you. We will continue the good fight. And just remember, there's hope, and you matter. So thank you, everybody, so much.
Appreciate you guys' positive comments.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to you're welcome, Jerry, and I hope you email us, Jerry. We want to work with you. I'm going to leave this meeting open for a couple minutes because there's links right in the chat at the bottom. So if you want to take a couple minutes to check the links, I will keep this open. Thank you everyone for sticking around. Chris, Janine, Corrinalyn, you guys were amazing. Look forwards to fighting this fight with you moving forwards, and exciting time to be a part of these missions. So thank you everyone, and have have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Joseph.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Solidarity.